Hello everyone, today I want to talk about this Sony 10-18mm f4 OSS lens. It's an ultra wide angle that I bought for my APS-C cameras. I bought it used in May 2019, so it's been half a year. So after using a little bit while, finally this is my review. I think it's a very essential focal range to add to the kit. 10-18mm is full frame equivalent 15 to 27mm, covering a nice range of ultra wide angle that can be so helpful when you are shooting in narrow spaces. It perfectly complements the other standard zoom lens range. For example, Tamron 28 to 75 or Sony 24 to 105, those lenses, or on APS-C and 18 to 105 will be exactly catching up where this lens left. It's a perfect lens for selfie and vlogging style of videos and photos. It's really nice, really wide angle. It's even wider than the Sony 16 to 35, no matter it's GM or the Zeiss, because 10mm is about 15mm on full frame, so it's a little bit wider. The lens itself is impressively tiny comparing to full-frame lenses. Obviously, it's also slightly smaller and lighter than its Canon counterpart, which means it is much easier to carry around, ideal for run-and-gun shooting. Build quality is good, not as good as some other lenses such as Tamron 28 to 75 or Sigma E-mount prime lenses, but it is good and solid in its own way. Does feel pretty doable. Zoom ring and focus rings are solid metal, which I don't like because they grind my fingernails and makes me cringe. At 18mm, the lens is at its shortest. When you zoom out to 10mm, which is very often you use this lens for, the barrel sticks out a little bit, which makes it a little bit longer, but you won't see the difference if you have the lens hood on. The lens has OSS, optical steady shot, which is super helpful when shooting handheld, especially on a camera such as A6300, which doesn't have in-body stabilization. It's gonna help you smooth the image. It's gonna help a lot. I'm glad that they put that in there. F4 max aperture on APS-C sensor is not as impressive as an f4 in full frames term, but it's definitely better than a variable aperture lens. It doesn't produce much bokeh, which even though this lens conveniently has very small minimum focusing distance, you can get really close up to the subject, but the bokeh is minimum as well. If you want to shoot product image, I'd recommend you to use Sigma 16mm f1.4 instead, because you can create wonderful bokeh and have very nice subject separation, and you can also get really close up to the subject. Focusing speed is very fast. I have nothing to complain. It can easily catch up with fast motion. Also, since it's a wide lens, that means it has less work to do compared to a telephoto lens. The focus mode is basically silent. I've never noticed any noise from this lens. Image quality wise, I think it does pretty good job. Solid sharpness across the frame from edge to edge. It's known that there are some bad copies of this lens, like Technology Mafia, now aka Arthur, has discovered this issue and made his comparison video. You can find if you search Sony 10-18mm, but I think I'm pretty lucky, but my copy doesn't seem to have the issue. I haven't found any softness on the edge or anywhere on the lens, so I'm pretty happy about it. All this goodness packed up in a tiny lens that can be used on crop camera as well as full frame camera. You can shoot crop mode on your A7 series or even shoot in full frame mode. At about 14mm, you can eliminate the vignetting, but I don't bother to use full frame mode with this lens due to heavy distortion and hassle of switching between full frame and crop mode on A7RII, for example. In the end, I think the only disadvantage is its price. If you want to get a brand new one, when it came out, it was priced at $850 US, and over the years, the price had dropped very slowly. It is still about 700 to 800 euros right now, but sometimes it had some discounts and it dropped a lot a while ago to as low as 589 euro for a new copy, and I didn't know why it was so, but at that point I already had this lens, so I didn't need it. So the price is really high if you compare to the counterparty like the Canon 10-18 or Canon 10-22. Those lenses are much cheaper than this lens. So if you don't mind manual focusing, you can also get the Canon lens, which is super cheap. In the end, my conclusion is if you can find a used copy on eBay, get it, because it's a wonderful little wide lens that can come in handy whenever you need, and it's super easy to carry. You can just stick it into your pocket and you can carry it with you all the time. It doesn't feel heavy at all. It's just tiny little stuff you can bring with you to shoot wonderful wide angle. I especially like it on my A6300 because of a small form factor. It really helps to reduce the weight, and you can just carry like this. I like this setup with the Gorillapod here. You can vlog like this. Super lightweight, and you don't feel tired over time when you hold your camera like this. So it's highly recommended for vloggers. And the price is steep, but you won't be disappointed by the performance. So I recommend you to get a used one, just like I did. Thanks for watching, and check out the links below. Maybe you can find something you like in. If you purchase via my link, you can support this channel. I can get a little bit commission from Amazon, which can help me grow my channel. Thank you very much, and see you next time.